Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. We're a show about podcasts featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who help podcasters with their podcasting. On each episode, a few of us folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 show submissions we've gotten from podcasters. Why? Well, in order to find what we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second podcast clip. They'll then need to pick the correct podcast title from a lineup of 3 choices before being shown the artwork for that show. Before we get this show on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for today. Starting with Prateek.
Hey, everyone.
Next up, we have Max.
Heads up, headliners. Hope you're ready for another PodPod.
We got Jesse.
Aloha.
Who's very tropical today, as you can tell from the aloha. And we have Oliver.
Hi, Nicholas.
As well as Kristy.
Let's go.
There's something very troubling about Kristy beginning his intro with a deep breath when his background is outer space, where there's no air. Just putting it out there. Anyway. We also obviously have Elissa as our producer for today.
Hi, everybody.
And to mix things up, Elissa doesn't have an ad read for today because it's actually up to Jesse. So, Jesse, would you please serenade us with an ad read?
Hey there, podcasters. Are you looking to give your show a boost? Well, you're in luck because I have something special for you today. Podcast promo by Headliner. Imagine this, your podcast reaching a whole new audience, driving engagement, and growing your listenership. That's exactly what Podcast Promo does. Promo works by connecting to your RSS feed so that all the data can be tracked by your own hosting analytics by playing directly from your show. From there, we are able to show the podcast clips you love to new listeners that will love them too. And the best part, our programmatic targeting options ensure that your podcast is heard by the right people at the right time for maximum impact. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to our website to learn more and let's get started. Join the hundreds of podcasters who have trusted Podcast Promo to help them shine.
Thank you very much, Jesse. That was so relaxing. I feel like I was at the beach for a second there. That was great.
Pull up a chair, put them toes in the sand. Let's get going.
Yeah, go read a novel on the beach. So, jumping on ahead, let's get right into things and start today's game off with Prateek.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And I don't know in the end if they ended up using it, but it felt so unnatural. These people went through this traumatic experience watching their loved one be wheeled away. And for me to go like, I want to be there for lunch today. That I just naturally started to follow it down. But I ended up getting more stuff after that, so who knows? Maybe that director liked what I did.
Yeah, it's well, the first time I did it, the director's like, it's you guys make the movie, because if you're not there, it's a movie. With you there, it's real. Like, I'm like, okay. I said, and part of it too is, as you know, you got to be silent. So you got to like ventriloquist. You just like one of the things I did. I was at brunch with a lady. Yeah, a date. I don't know, whatever.
Okay. Whatever indeed. Let's dive right into things. Here are your titles, Prateek. Number 1, Laugh with Jeff. Number 2, The Jeff Macolino Podcast. Number 3, A Good Time Pod with Jeff Macolino.
I think let's go with the second one.
Okay, The Jeff Macolino Podcast.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Nice.
You perfectly intuited that.
Yeah, I figured this Jeff guy sounds like the kind of guy whose podcast name is only gonna be his name and the word podcast.
That was actually pretty
nonsense
smart.
Guy.
Yeah, he's straight and to the point.
Yep.
He's Jeff Macolino, and this is his podcast.
Exactly. That's it.
Had the
And-
dramatic effect too. You were like, I'm right.
Yeah, you didn't even doubt yourself. You didn't crunch numbers.
Yeah. I think
or
the more
anything.
I played this game, I'm realizing that, listening to the clip doesn't even matter. It's more just like thinking what Elissa thinking about how she's gonna trick you, and then
He's counting cards. Everybody, Prateek's counting cards.
exactly 2 weeks
Hey,
in a row.
Prateek,
I'm coming
no
up.
longer invited back.
Yeah. Well, no, what we need to do, Elissa, is next week I need to come up with the names for Prateek's option so that he
Throw me
can't
off
intuit it. Yeah, because I'm such a
Mhm.
wild card. So that was from episode 169, Dick Wybrow and me, which I presume me would be Jeff Macolino. And here's our description. Jeff's midlife crisis led him to try to build a career in comedy. The goal of this podcast is to laugh and maybe learn some things along the way. From drunken ramblings to comedians to conspiracy theories to life experience, Jeff will try to mix things up for a good time. So there you go. Really simple podcast. It is literally just the words, the Jeff Macolino podcast, with a picture of, I presume, him wearing some fancy sunglasses. Cool stuff. Jumping on over to our next contestant for today, who's also wearing sunglasses technically. Let's go with Jesse.
All right. I hope I have half as much confidence as Prateek.
I mean, you have sunglasses on, so I'm assuming you do.
Thank you for covering them so we can verify that you are in fact closing your eyes.
Absolut, das läuft nicht über die Genossenschaft, sondern das läuft über die Einzelpersonen und je nach Förderprogramm. Ich kenne jetzt dieses Bundesprogramm nicht, ist das natürlich ein Stück weit auch nochmal einkommensabhängig. Kann man ja auch so ein bisschen verstehen. Also jemand, der das Geld hat, den muss man ja vielleicht nicht nochmal extra fördern dafür. Aber es kann sein, dass das KfW-Programm auch wie so eine Art zinsloser Kredit funktioniert oder so. Das müsste man nochmal gucken.
Das recherchiere ich nach und mache den Link auf alle Fälle in die Shownotes, weil ich glaube, für den einen oder anderen ist das wirklich ein ganz, ganz wertvoller Hinweis, weil man sich ja dann immer überlegt, okay, wie organisiere ich mir das oder wie schaffe ich mir jetzt das Eigenkapital, vor allem in Städten, wo der Preis ja so hoch ist, da brauche ich ja dann pro Quadratmeter ja auch dann eine große Summe.
Und es gibt auch Länder, Kommunen, die auch die Genossenschaften fördern. In Land Berlin ist das auch so. Also da muss man echt ortsabhängig gucken, welche Förderungen die Bundesländer eben auch noch anbieten.
I think the best part of when we listen to podcasts that aren't in English is that I still feel the need to actively listen, like I understand any of it. So, Jesse, we just threw you in the deep end today. I'm gonna just go ahead and list the titles for you in English.
All right.
First one is Holy Home, the podcast about home ownership and real estate.
Okay.
Number 2, Holy Home, explore Frankfurt. And number 3, Holy Home, living and learning, explore Germany's townships. In case you didn't know, this was in German. I wasn't sure if that played.
I was able to deduce that one.
Okay.
All right, let's go over these one more time just for
Sure.
me. And we can skip the holy home part. I got that one. So
You sure? Okay.
One more time, please.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The podcast about home ownership and real estate. Explore Frankfurt. And living and learning, explore Germany's townships.
All right, so we have home ownership, Frankfurt, and then just Germany. So
Yes.
I kleib Deutsch. So I'm gonna go with number 3.
Living and learning, explore
Living and
Germany's
learning,
townships.
exploring Germany's townships.
I am so sorry. It is
Number
not
2
that.
wasn't.
It was the first one.
It was the
This-
first one. Home
Yes.
ownership.
Man,
Yeah.
man.
So sorry, man. On that enchanting note, here is the episode it was from. Also translated into English because I don't speak a lick of German. Actually, that's not true. I know how to say "this is heavy," Marty's catchphrase from Back to the Future in German. That's the one German phrase, and I learned it for a sketch like 8 years ago. Das ist schwer.
Ich liebe
glad-
Deutsch is I love German. And then I know some of the words to Silent Night.
I know the lyrics
And
to
that's it.
Nina's 99 Balloons. That,
Funny.
you know, sorry, Luftballons, because German. Anyway, here is the episode. It is from How Does Building Cooperative Work? Interview with Carolyn Rosenthal from the Cooperative Forum, number 62. And here is our show description. A financial podcast for everyone who wants to buy, build, or renovate a home. A podcast that educates you so that you can make better decisions. I regularly invite experts here who give valuable tips for lay people, and I invite people who already live in their own home to report on their experiences. Topics range from financing, funding, law, taxes, to insurance. The aim is for you to give valuable tips and advice that will really help you. So, for everyone out there who needs home ownership advice and happens to speak German or doesn't, it might be helpful to learn German. This is the show for you.
I'm sorry, Carolyn.
I mean, you were correct insofar that it had the word holy home in it. You got that part.
Indeed.
So,
I knew that one deep
yeah.
in my heart.
You'll always have holy home, Jesse. So, moving on to our next podcast, which I can assure everybody is in English. Kristy, would you like to go next?
I am fully prepared.
Okay. Well, if you'll cover your eyes and be
Are you
fully
sure about that?
He just disappeared from the screen entirely.
He actually burnt up upon re-entry, guys. So, yeah, we don't know if you're covering your eyes. We're just going to assume you are because you're invisible.
Why?
You disappeared
That
into
is
your
awesome.
background.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least show half your face, like slowly cover it and uncover it.
Yeah, just
Like
cover
you're
the
gonna-
top half of your face.
Wait a minute. How do I?
You're gonna
How do
appear like
you
a fourth
fix anything?
dimensional
Like,
being.
All right, hold on.
It's just going to detect you as an object, so it's going to cover you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have this.
Just-
Raccoon and a guitar?
My neighbors are
Yeah.
listening to great music, whether they like it or not. Very good advice. Very true.
Thanks. Okay. Yes. For those that didn't know, Kristy is in a band. Shout out 95 Corolla.
Nice.
You gotta with an owlbear, you gotta get right in there. And then you get them, right?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
of course.
And then after I caught him,
Yeah, uh-huh.
after I caught him, some of these other bandits in the trees here, they joined up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Impressive.
You really are quite an impressive.
Not a lot of people can say they caught an owlbear.
No, I certainly can't. I mean, look, there's no way I could get in there.
You get right in there. You gotta commit. Commit and get right in there.
So, how did you and Remy meet? I would love to hear more about this love story.
Well, we were up by the road, we were robbing caravans.
As one does, yeah.
Yeah, right. We were, taking the stuff that we wanted so that we could have it. And
What do
then-
you do with this stuff?
Okay.
A D&D podcast. Let's go.
Yes. And this was picked especially for you while you were out. So we actually did it already. So everyone
Okay,
here
all right.
should still know the answer,
Okay.
but you.
So, well, no.
Well, maybe
If
not.
you listen to our podcast, then you will know. So
That's true.
this is the
The real
test.
test. Do you actually listen to the podcast, Kristy?
Oh.
Get this wrong.
I have a
with it.
thing. I can't be involved with anything I'm also involved in. I can't listen to that. I don't want to hear the sound of my voice.
Yeah, do you guys actually listen to this podcast? Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to hear what I said.
I do.
I mean, I have to.
I have to, though.
Bummer.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I guess nobody except for Elissa and I know the answer then. Here are your choices. Number 1, guaranteed adventures. Number 2, guaranteed and D&D. And number 3, the totally rad podcast games, TTRPG.
I'm gonna go option 1.
Really? Is there a reason for that?
There is like a theme with. Say it again. Say the first one again.
Guaranteed adventures.
Actually, no. Guaranteed in D&D.
One.
The second one, just
Okay.
because most D&D podcasts are pretty like NADPod, not another D&D podcast. Like
Love me
they're
some
pretty,
NADPod.
they're pretty clever. Shout out NADPod, but they're usually clever, and guaranteed in D&D sounds a little bit more in line.
Okay.
Number 1. Excuse me.
Was I
Sorry,
right?
Max, did you say something?
No,
Yeah,
just,
but you
just coughing.
Oh, okay.
And one
Okay.
cough.
All right. So
I cough once.
everybody gets one.
everyone gets one cough.
You used up your one that you give out. I'm gonna switch it back to the first one.
Oh, we're so sorry.
It's crap.
It was indeed Guaranteed Adventures. Now, whether or not this counts for your streak depends on if you want to throw Max under the bus or not.
I couldn't let him take that bullet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
I was
It's
listening
okay.
to the podcast, and he always gets D&D podcast titles right.
Yeah,
Anybody says otherwise.
Guaranteed D&D was a really good. Whoever wrote that, it's a really, really good title for.
Thank you.
That's very, very good. Guaranteed Adventures is actually lackluster in comparison.
Shots fired.
It's still a good D&D podcast name, but Guaranteed in D&D is a better podcast name.
That's better. The shots were still fired, but they only grazed
Yes,
podcasters
there's
this time.
just a little crazy, guy. But yes, shout out Owlbears. That's very sick. And I'm gonna take my defeat in stride.
Okay, very cool. The clip we just listened to, again, technically, is from season 4, episode 3, Ivory Horizon, Legitimate Bandits. And here's our show description. Welcome to Guaranteed Adventures, where the stories might change, but the adventure is guaranteed. We're just a bunch of friends diving into the world of tabletop role-playing games, or TTRPGs. From dungeons filled with dragons to superhero adventures, our podcast is your ticket to countless adventures. What makes us special? Well, first off, we're totally family-friendly and squeaky clean. We jump into a different TTRPG system every season and craft a whole new story so you can also join at any point. No need to binge listen for hours. Each season is a self-contained tale, ready for you to dive right in. Whether you're a seasoned adventurer or a complete newbie to TTRPGs, we're here to make you feel right at home. So grab your imaginary sword and your favorite snack and join our party. Your seat at the table is waiting. Cool stuff. And just like last time, I still appreciate that every season is a standalone story, because that is the one big gripe I have for D&D podcasts in general. So, now that we have that out of the way, let's go on to our next contestant. Oliver, how you doing? You want to go next?
Hi, Nicholas. Sure. Can you tell that I'm covering my face?
I can't, but...
Well, I am. Are my eyes closed? My avatar?
No. They're actually they actually look like they're intimidating me, or they're trying to.
It doesn't blink.
Yeah, it doesn't blink. It's
All right.
kind of scary.
Well, I'm covering my eyes.
Oh, there you go.
They did
Now
it.
they're closed.
Nope, they're open.
You look like an angsty middle schooler.
You know, Elissa, I did say that this person looked like me earlier, so I will take full offense at that. You're not wrong, but I will take offense.
Okay, well, Oliver, close your eyes.
Listen to
They're
one
closed.
romance song. My God.
So the bottom line, out of the 10 friends that came over and showed up to try this coffee, 10 of them 100% committed to buy a case of 30 boxes. As they were leaving, here's the crazy part, as they were leaving, one of the persons turned, they're all kind of leaving together, and they said, hey, what do we do now? They all signed that they're going to purchase this case of coffee. My first thought when I was asked, what's next? In my mind, okay, I didn't say this out loud, but in my mind, I'm thinking, how the heck would I know? I'm only 2 days ahead of you. How would I know what's next? That what's next has not been developed, has not been invented, what the next step is. So what I did say out loud was, why not just do what I did? Because that's all I knew what to do. I was 2 days ahead of them. All I knew what to do was I tried the coffee. I knew I invited some friends over. I knew I made them all coffee so they could try it.
Okay. There's our clip. I guess we'll just need to listen to the rest of the clip to know how the coffee tasting went.
That sounds like a coffee pyramid scheme to anybody else? Something is up.
That would be a pyramid scheme I would happily be involved in, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would be like a level 7 susceptible for that pyramid scheme.
Well, I'll be contacting you soon with the great offer.
Okay. Thank you, Max. I look forward to going completely broke. So, moving on, here are your options for today, Oliver. Number 1, Victory Podcast. How to fire your boss. It's all caps for fire, by the way.
I know Elissa makes these specifically for the people. All right, what's the next one, Nicholas?
Your avatar has no emotions.
He's so neutral on this. Number 2, turning the tables on employment. And number 3, HR SMHR.
I don't think there's a chance it's number 3. There's no chance.
There is a chance.
There's
Oh,
always a
I love
chance.
that name, though. I want to hear a podcast with that name.
the first one, second one. What was the second one again?
Turning the tables on employment.
Turning the tables on employment. I think I would like to choose. Alex, let's go with number 1.
Number 1, Victory Podcast, How to Fire Your Boss is correct.
Yes.
There you go. We need just like a little ding sound whenever you get stuff right. So there you have it. Very, very intense artwork, if I do say so myself, in a good way. You know, got a picture of the speaker. He has the little mic on the side of his face that they use at speaking engagements. And yeah, this is from the episode, What is a Hub-Based Business? Here's our description. The Victory Podcast is about how to fire your boss, move to paradise, and get paid to help change the world. Based on the goal-setting principle outlined in The Victory Book by Shane Morand, you've got to have too many goals rather than too few, because goals are like magnets that pull you into the greater, grander, and more amazing future. Now! Topics on this podcast will include Victory Book, money, gold, health, the Internet of Things, skilled gaming, and personal growth, and much more. There you have it. I feel like I just went on a journey reading that description. There were a lot of capitalized letters that I had to emphasize, and it changed me as a person. I'm changed. No, all around interesting stuff. And yeah, I didn't know this was based on a book. So that's definitely something to think about. Moving on over.
Disclaimer that I very much like this job, and I'm not looking to turn the tables on employment.
Okay.
Where does it say fire your boss, Nicholas?
It says it in the title, I promise.
I don't see it.
We can go to play. We'll pull it up here, boss.
Oh no, it's okay.
Please, no, we believe us.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. I think, Elissa, I knew it was that one. And this is essentially a challenge to you. Because I felt like you wouldn't want to hurt my feelings or something. But I would say, go ahead. Hurt them real bad next week.
You said this.
I did say this.
This will be transcribed, and I will have this in writing.
Yeah, I just got chills hearing that, Oliver. I'm imagining the video game Doom where the difficulty is labeled Hurt Me Plenty, and that's being selected.
I think it hurt me more than growing up in a fine state of Massachusetts, so bring it.
Hashtag New England proud.
Yep.
All right, so on that enchanting note, I believe, Max, you're the only one left that hasn't gone yet.
Let's do it.
Okay, yes, let's.
I didn't drink a lot of milk as a calcium issue. This is just one option of what can happen. Now, you have to wake up and make things right now.
Wait, wake up? What do you mean?
Excuse me, young man, where is the plunger?
What? Who are you?
My name is Maud Findlay, and my husband next to you is Walter. Walter! Zip your fly, your fallacy is dangling. Again. Sorry, he needed to use the bathroom. A nice woman we met on the street, Sam, said he could use the bathroom.
Yeah, I did a number in your toilet. Hey, by the way, nice sliding window in there. Could hold some good meetings in there.
Don't scare the man, Walter.
Wait, I am at my desk and holy crap, am I warm and parched.
Well, you have some type of heat radiating off of you.
I need some water. What day is it?
It's Thursday.
Walter.
Okay, that was our clip.
I feel like I was trying to figure out if like when it starts off as something that sounds like a non-fiction discussion, and then you have to realize, oh, they're definitely doing some improv or something.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was scripted or not. I felt a little bit of yes and in there, so I think it is improv, but I guess we'll find out soon, maybe, hopefully.
or fiction. I mean, I don't think what happened in that show really happened. It wasn't a documentary podcast.
You don't know that yet.
I don't. That's true.
Joke's on you. That's the name.
I just want to preserve a little bit of magic in the world, Max. I'm sorry. Anyway, here are your titles. Number 1, The Potchki Audio Chronicles. Number 2, Spoofy Fun. And number 3, Tall Tales and Scripted Spoofs.
What was the first one?
The Potchki Audio Chronicles.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to choose it. Just such a weird name.
Okay. That is correct, sir.
How could you make it up?
Yeah, it's such a great...
But that's...
I couldn't, that's for sure.
Take some notes, listen to the podcast.
Yeah. And
how do you spell it? I can't read the font in the...
Potchki.
I hope they explain it in the description.
They do, kind of. This is from the episode The Potchki Christmas Special 2023. Live cast read. So there you go. It is scripted. In case you didn't know that already. And here's our description. After 20 years, Lester Potchki, an over-arrogant yet mediocre gumshoe, is back in an all-new set of comedic crime stories. The world of Potchki is a vibrant, if at times surreal, journey into the underworld's most unique set of characters and crimes. So there you have it.
Got it. So it's a name. I thought it was like a new slang word for podcast or something.
I tried Googling it and I found like Korean soup that's spelled similarly, but not the same. So I had nothing to go off of.
Perhaps that is what it is then, Max. Maybe it is the new slang term for podcasts that are best enjoyed over a nice bowl of Korean soup.
Potchki.
Yeah.
I'm
ticked.
I'm ticked.
That's what I thought it was at first. I thought it was a potchki.
Yeah.
I want to leave the room so bad right now.
You can go back to space if you want, Kristy.
Prateek, are you okay? See, there's a storm behind you.
Surviving.
He's actually on the set of the new Twister movie, guys.
Yes, Twisters.
So,
I ain't
yes,
scared
Twisters.
no naders.
Naders.
I misheard that as gators at first, so now I'm imagining alligators and naders.
My
I mean-
apologies. I ain't afraid of no nators.
It's the new Sharknado. It's a dramatic push in on somebody, and he looks at a tornado and he's like, "There's a gator in that nader."
Nader.
No. This is like
You need to get them on the phone now and sell this to them.
Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll be talking to Bloomhouse Films. It'll be coming out in, knowing Bloomhouse, like 3 weeks. Anyway, let's go ahead to the next option, which is our favorite part. It's when everybody works together and or fights each other. We haven't had a fight yet, but I'm holding out hope. Yeah. If everyone will cover their eyes, please.
Nicholas has too entered his villain era. Goodness.
I've been in my villain era.
And you were allowed basically to build cultivation assets in Canada. That's what they did. Now you can see that from a cost perspective from time to time might makes more sense to build it somewhere else. But now the infrastructure is that it needs to be used to a certain degree. And I should also, before I forget, mention there are lots of excellent growers in Canada at the end of the day. So there's a legacy, there is lots of experiences, lots of know-how. So as of today, I think the best cannabis in terms of quality that is available in Europe is basically imported from Canada. So they are leading the pack, that's for sure.
Okay, there was our clip. And here are your options for today. StartupRad.io, the authority on German, Swiss, and Austrian startups and venture capital.
Jesus.
Number 2. Yeah, it was a mouthful. Number 2, Cantaloupes, cannabis, and all things VC. StartupPod.io. And last, Startup.io presents Making Money Moves with Bel Callis Alamazar.
Well, let's check on salamander.
It's okay, Oliver, because I said it wrong. It was actually Alamanzar.
Alamanzar.
I think the last one is the only one that sounds like an actual podcast name.
What about cantaloupes and weed?
definitely not it.
You mean a Thursday?
Heyo!
That definitely
Got
sounds like
him.
something with somebody
That
else.
hits so different from a guy wearing fake 3D glasses.
100%
I
believable.
also forgot it is Thursday.
Yeah.
Kristy, have you been drinking the Naderade again?
The Naderade.
Kristy's been washing down his Nader Tots with some Naderade.
Oh God. The Midwest's favorite energy drink. Unleash the power of a tornado with Naderade.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay. We're having too much fun. Too much fun.
Yep.
I think it's the third one is the only one that's I don't honestly I don't even remember the first two. They just sounded like absolute just like sass jargon. And then the third one sounded like an actual podcast title to me.
I see.
What was the first one?
Have to take a deep breath because I have asthma and it's very long. Startuprad.io hyphen the authority on German, Swiss, and Austrian startups and venture capital.
It's the hyphen, man. No one uses a hyphen.
I think
I
you
hyphenate
got
everything.
This is a VC podcast. You're probably gonna get some SaaS jargon in the title.
Yeah.
What was
Did
that
they say
one about the fruit and the marijuana? What was that one?
The cantaloupe and
Cantaloupes,
cannabis.
and all things VC.
I think that's not it. I think
I don't know. I mean, we're
Cantaloupes,
talking
cannabis, and
Canada.
venture capital. I
True.
mean, no, they're set in Europe though. They were just talking about the best cannabis coming in, being imported from Canada, but being imported into Europe. And they also have European accents.
Yeah,
That's actually just the new Canada accent, Jesse. There was an update
New
last
Canada
week.
dropped.
Yeah,
British
New Canada
Columbia.
They were
Oh,
obviously
New Canada.
talking about the Canadian province, Austria.
Funny.
All right. What are we thinking here? Are we thinking 3? Are we feeling 3?
I mean, should we just do the middle one because it was
Because we hope for it?
Because we hope for it. I'm into hope. I lost today. I'm into hope.
I think hoping would be nice. Let's do it.
It's like a really gray day out. I could use a little optimism.
Let's do it. Let's vote for the future we want.
Yeah.
This is like weirdly inspiring. So sorry.
Along the way, it's not the podcast titles you guessed correctly.
Was it the third one?
Oh,
No, it was the
Startup
first
Radio.
one. Yeah.
It was the first one?
Oh, Startup Radio. That does make a lot of sense.
Startuprad.io. Like
Told you guys.
I still think Startup Rad is kind of good in and of itself, though.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Rad.io. Wow.
Yeah.
These people are going places.
This has layers.
If you listen to a VC podcast, you're gonna get some SaaS talk. They're gonna be sassy.
Yeah, they're gonna get sassy.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the podcast. Get sassy. Dang.
On that note, I feel
Good
like all
one.
of us we're stuck on this title now.
Can I
Yeah,
say
that's
something?
Yes,
The
please.
third one, making money moves, that was inspired by Cardi B, Bodak Yellow, and that is her real name.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I think we've
Okay.
all just outed
That had to
ourselves
be
as
known.
non-Cardi B fans, except for Elissa, apparently.
I don't know. There's something
I don't
about
want that on the record.
that podcast title you did made me believe that was the actual podcast title. So, and I would have been way even wronger about it. So, excellent work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Applause, please. So, here was our episode title, Trailblazing Medical Cannabis with Contourage's Philip Schepter. I definitely got something wrong there, but we're just going to power on through. Startup Radio, episode 415. There are 415 episodes, and I couldn't even get the name right. Good Lord.
Is Contourage a podcast about Kant?
No, because it's spelled differently. It is spelled with a C
Nicholas
here.
looks
not
that
the-
up.
Like
What do
the
you
philosopher.
call- Yeah, like the philosopher. But it's not because it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
How is that
I
spelled?
like that though. I want to get a Contourage going. Just a bunch of Kant readers.
It's actually a critical reading of Entourage through the works of Immanuel Kant.
That's where cantaloupe came from because I saw that spelt and I just thought cantaloupe.
Oh, okay.
So
That suddenly makes sense. I was
I
wondering
just
where that
wanted to
factored in.
interject there.
Yeah. Anyway, here's our show description. Germany has a rich history when it comes to entrepreneurship. From Konrad Zuse, Carl Benz, and Ferdinand Porsche to Werner von Simons, there is no shortage of success stories that can be told about German-based companies looking for global expansion opportunities abroad for investors seeking out fresh investment prospects at home/abroad. We continue this with Startup Radio, or startuprad.io, as I will insist upon, keeping you up to date with the latest on the German-speaking startup scene in Germany, Europe's largest economy, Switzerland, and Austria, collectively known as the GSA or DACH region. We are an English-only startup podcast with exclusive startup content, including regular news and interviews. We are the international voice of the German-speaking startup scene. We focus on interviews with startups, mostly around their Series B funding or even scale-ups from GSA. Once a month, we bring you an exclusive startup new wrap-up as well. There you have it. Interesting stuff. I'm noticing that Elissa is just starting to put in like music references in every episode. So I'm going to start digging around. I'm just going to start Googling every name so that I can pretend I caught all of them.
Learn all music now.
Yeah.
I was in the top 1% of Spotify listeners last year. So this is my thing.
There you have it.
Oh,
I didn't realize we had a celebrity
can
in
I
our
ask
midst.
you a question?
Sure.
What do you call a twisty puffed potato treat?
A twisty puffed potato treat?
Yes.
I feel like this is like the homes for the lakes. I don't know, Oliver. What do you call that?
A Nader Tot.
And that's
That's
it.
And that's it. That's the end. That's the
That's
end. We don't do a
beautiful.
sign off. We just end there.
I want to rebrand curly fries as Nader Tots.
Nader
We're
Tots.
still recording.
Groundhog is outside.
Yeah.
We are still.
Yes, we're still recording.
Oops.
Is
Can
this
you do
real
that
life,
again?
Jesse?
Yeah, I got 2 of them and one's out there. I mean, I don't personally like possess the groundhogs. There's just 2 that live outside and frequently come by.
Well,
Reginald
where
and
there's 2,
Regina.
there's 3. So
You know, they only live 3 years. Isn't that sad?
Not if
I
they
don't-
make the
Very
most
sad.
of it, bud.
Okay, if Nader Tots is not the title of this episode, we need to fix Eddie. If that's not the
Nader
title,
Tots.
Yeah.
Nader Tots.
Nader
Just
Tots.
saying
Nader,
it.
Nader Tots. Nader Tots. Nader Tots.
Someone get in
I
front of a
don't
mirror,
know.
say it
It
3
was that
times,
time.
and see if Beetlejuice appears.
I don't know that it'll know how to spell it.
Is
well, then we're
that
gonna have to overhaul the whole system because if Eddie can't figure that out, we got a problem.
all right?
On
Eddie
that note,
Spaghetti.
It's up to Eddie.
Eddie Spaghetti. Eddie Spaghetti.
thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh gosh.
I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it in.